Good morning, Civic Media Mornings viewers. We're going to get going in 35 seconds. How about that for math?
Wow. Community, because change starts with you. Get involved and tune in to the Tom Hartman program Monday through Friday from 11 a.m. to 2 p.m. right here on your local Civic Media radio station.
Peach Waba.
On the next Nightlight, I'm joined by theater professor Greg Pregel, Norm Kopeski from Appleton Cigar, artist Daniel Wheeler, and comedian
10 seconds.
.606 right now. Thank you so much for joining us this morning on the Civic Media Network. You're listening to Civic Media Mornings. My name is Jamie Martinson.
And good morning, I'm Brian Noonan. If you want to get involved in the program this morning, we'd love to have you. 855-75-CIVIC, 855-752-4842. Use that number wisely. Don't waste your time or ours. Man, it's the dominoes are starting to fall in regarding the Epstein files. You know, there were 3 million more documents released a couple weeks ago. Still more that have not been released, but why quibble over the facts or over the law or over deadlines? The problem now is that other countries are really starting to follow up on this and make some moves to hold people responsible, whereas here in the U.S., we're doing our best to just cover up and deflect and, again, just protect people who really deserve no protection. But now things are happening across. We have some new people that are resigning, whose careers are being impacted. Yeah. And Jamie, the biggest one today, this was breaking overnight from across the pond in the UK.
Was anybody surprised by this, though, just based on the information we've previously had in this particular case?
What I am surprised by is the charges that So we're talking about former Prince Andrew, of Prince, now just Andrew Mountbatten Windsor. He was arrested overnight, our time.
Right. Yes. It's on suspicion of misconduct in public office. Because remember, his role or anything that took place with his name in it in the Epstein files is when he was actually still titled Prince Andrew, right?
Correct.
So he was arrested by the Thames Valley Police this morning. At least 6 unmarked police cars arrived at Wood Farm on what is Andrew's, what a bad way to spend your birthday.
Yeah.
It's his 66th birthday today.
Happy birthday, brother.
His arrest.
Here's a warrant.
And
got you handcuffs.
And in this case, if any of the allegations in the Epstein files are true, it is probably best that is where Prince Andrew might be.
Of course.
And of course, this is all through the investigation by the Thames Valley Police over whether he shared confidential information with the late Jeffrey Epstein. Andrew has consistently denied all claims made against him in relation to Epstein. But I guess if the local police have even started investigating and have found the ties and your name shows up that many times in a file, then you're probably going to have to answer some questions. Right?
Yeah, and again, this is about sharing information. This is not about, at this point, he was arrested because of alleged sharing of confidential information. So that's the part that surprised me. We'll see if more things come out or if these charges even hold water. We don't know yet. But the prince has said that, or the king rather, he's the king now. King
Charles
has said that he stripped the title and they are all about getting to the bottom of this.
It's interesting to me how quickly the royal family acted once there was greater suspicion, which also tells me that there might be some truth in this, right? Because they were very quick. All of a sudden, Prince Andrew, we don't see him. He doesn't come out of his room. Yeah. We're going to take away his title. We're going to move him over into the property far away from the rest of us, and that is just where he is going to dwell. And so it kind of... if I'm a betting person, it tells me that there's maybe a little meat on the bone just based on how they reacted and public perception, of course.
I think the Royals have their own challenges, and they don't need one more thing piled on top from some ancillary family member. So at that point, it's just cut. Go.
Yeah.
Put them out of here. We don't need this hassle in our life. We will cooperate with all the investigations. We will make sure that it comes to light.
Right.
But we don't want anything
Just
casting a light on us.
We're going to pretend this isn't happening, and we want him over there far separated from the rest of us. Right. Now, he's not the only domino to fall. Now, the arrest of Andrew this morning was probably one of the biggest moves we've seen since these 3 million files have been released, or however
there's
many.
No arrest happening over here, Jamie.
There's not. Well, we would actually have to think that anything in the Epstein files was true in order for that to happen. But interestingly enough, a tie back to Andrew, his former wife, Sarah Ferguson. Remember Duchess Fergie? We all loved her. She did the Weight Watcher commercials at one point, too. Her charity is actually shut down after the email showed that she stayed in contact with Epstein after his conviction. It's not looking great for the royal family right now.
It's not looking great for so many people.
No. And the list the people that we're going to talk about to some degree this morning, let's be clear, these are just allegations, but this is just a small portion of the people around the globe being affected by these files. Peter Attia, who is a physician and longevity expert, stepped down from his advisory roles after emails showed friendly and crude correspondence with Epstein. He has apologized and denied any wrongdoing. Well, if there's no wrongdoing, why are we apologizing? Your name was in the files. Maybe I'm parsing my words too much. Lawrence Summers, who was the former U.S. Treasury Secretary and Harvard president, he had to step back from public roles after there were revelations of a long relationship with not only Jeffrey Epstein, but Ghislaine Maxwell. The former British ambassador to the U.S., Peter Mandelson, has resigned from the Labour Party and House of Lords in the middle of all of these investigations. And let me be clear, it's also affecting some of the Democrats' names that, you might recognize. George J. Mitchell, who is a former senator, he's resigned from all honorary roles after being mentioned hundreds of times in the files. Wow. And Kathy Rumler, who was a Goldman Sachs chief legal officer and a former Obama White House counsel, has announced she's going to step down from her role. And then there's this name, Casey Wasserman, and you might have heard it. He's selling his he's selling his talent agency after there were emails with Ghislaine Maxwell in this 3 million file dump that we now have.
Yeah, this is not, and that always takes the bullets out of some of these Republican protectors that say, well, would you want them released if there's Democrats in there? Yeah. Because I'm going to guess 95% of us really cannot stomach the thought of what is being alleged happened and what is documented that happened on that island. And if you're part of it, I don't care who you are.
This isn't
you
partisan.
You got to go. No,
this is partisan.
It shouldn't be.
It shouldn't be.
It shouldn't be. This is this cut and dry a legal matter. But there is no cut and dry with this administration, especially when the head of the administration, and I don't have to say allegedly, he is mentioned in these files thousands of times.
Yes. Yeah.
So,
and the more that comes out in these Epstein files, the worse it gets. And, again, not any of this has been proven, but even if a small portion of it turns out to be true, this would be one of the most disturbing and one of the largest crime networks of many of our lifetimes. I mean, this is peanuts in compared to what we've seen on many, many levels in other political realms. And this isn't going to be just, let's be clear as well, this isn't just politicians. We are also talking some of your favorite business leaders. Yes, it is.
Everybody.
I mean, and the list goes on, right? There's criminal investigations happening right now in the NFL. They're reviewing communications between New York Giants owner Steve Tisch and Epstein. And one of the biggest scandals right now tied into the Epstein files is Les Wexner. Now, if you were a young girl, if you're a woman who grew up in the 90s, you're going to know all of his brands because he made his billions on The Limited, Victoria's Secret, Pink, Bath and Body Works, and Abercrombie and Fitch. He has told Congress, he's mentioned so often and so closely to Epstein and Ghislaine Maxwell that he had to write this letter to Congress telling them that he had no knowledge of the crimes. He says he was conned, and he gave Epstein power of attorney and major financial control in the past. But I don't know him. I was conned.
Yeah, I was conned. Really? All right.
I don't know.
And listen, people get conned. That part,
Sure.
there's a lot of Ponzi out there, a lot of schemes that are happening. People get conned, but
I can't
not in this.
imagine.
Not in. Come on, this is powerful people, and Epstein may have been a
Sure.
really good con artist, and he had Ghislaine with him, and there's a lot here, but the problem is we're not investigating it.
Right.
We could get to the bottom of this. The
Right.
Justice Department could find out, are some of these people, were they targets of Epstein, as opposed to just friends or people who were going along with what was going
Gotta
on
think
the
the
island?
blackmail happening in the Epstein universe was vast as well. We have a text coming in this morning from we don't have a name attached to this one, so thank you if you're a newer texter.
Anonymous.
They say one goat can protect a herd or group of monkeys from predators. Get you thinking this morning, doesn't it?
Who is the goat? Would it be Pam Bondi? Is she the goat?
I don't know.
Well, Caroline Levitt we know is a goat or a
Well,
monkey.
she's gonna tell everybody that there's nothing to see here, which is what she's been doing at the podium
Yes,
for
been
months
very
now.
good. She's good
right?
at her job, I guess.
She is, and she says it with a smile to the point where you think that she's not slicing you all at the same time, which is even scarier. Now, last week, right here on this program, as we mentioned a little bit about the early start of the fallout from the Epstein files, we had kind of ruminated on the fact that we were probably going to see more action from Europe right away,
Yes.
because it seems like they were a little bit more on top of this, taking some of these allegations a little bit more seriously. And that's starting to hold true. Obviously, we talked about the arrest of Andrew, former prince, this morning. Now, France has also launched major new investigations into human trafficking and some of these financial crimes that have been connected to Epstein. And what they're showing is that some of these newly released files, plus complaints from child protection groups, and they are really looking right now at human trafficking and some of the financial crimes, including the money laundering, the corruption, and the tax fraud that was also that is also alleged in the files right now.
I think that's where they're going to end up getting more people with these
Yes,
financial
of
crimes.
course.
And it goes all the way back to Al Capone, right?
Yes.
So we're going to, because unfortunately people don't believe victims. And so
No.
it's going to be much easier to prove financial crimes because numbers are numbers, and the math, sometimes it ain't mathin'.
No, it's not.
So that's where the convictions will come, I believe.
And I think it's important to remember, if you want to watch news happening overseas, that France is a really key location in all of this, because Epstein owned luxury apartments in Paris and frequently visited the country. Now, there was a previous French investigation that actually closed 3 years ago after a key associate of Epstein died in prison. It's funny how we've seen that
Are
story
there
play
quotes
out
in
before.
died again?
No, it's just he died in prison. We don't really know much about it right
Don't know
now.
how or okay.
No,
Got it.
nope. But prosecutors say that this new probe will be massive and complex. They call it Titanic work. And it's also interesting because we found out yesterday that a UN Human Rights Council panel has suggested that all of these files point to this possible global criminal enterprise, tied to Epstein's network. And experts at the UN say that some of these crimes could meet the threshold for crimes against humanity, describing it as systematic abuse and exploitation of women and girls. They want a global independent investigation at the UN. So it's going to be interesting to me to see how long this administration can hold out saying, we don't know anything, it's fine, we did what we needed to, because the rest of the world is not saying that.
Well, they're going to go down with the ship because they're not going to admit anything. That's not happening.
No, of course. That's kind of how they've always operated. 6:19 right now. You're listening to Civic Media Mornings. My name is Jamie Martinson.
And I'm Brian Noonan. Governor Evers wants to join the World Health Organization Alert Network. One candidate, he's vowing to vote against it.
Alrighty. A commercial break.
Look at us. We have
stick
little
around for
graphics.
Yeah.
Very nice.
Yeah.
Look at how fancy we are.
I've been trying to remember to use like the actual capabilities of StreamYard because it actually can be sound if you like.
Can do some
in the work
stuff.
on it,
It
yeah.
can do some stuff.
Are we on
And
different sides this morning of the screen?
I know it's throwing me.
Yeah. Come on, Parker. Thank you.
Here we go.
Thank you,
I'm
Parker.
terribly
Oh,
sorry.
We are old and creatures of
It's-
habit.
Well, my eyes are used to looking one way to see Jamie, and I'm like, wait, where is she? I hear her.
I
I can't see her.
disappeared.
I can't find
Everybody
her.
can hear me.
For some
Turn
reason,
your head
I've
a
seen
fraction of
myself.
an inch. Oh, there it
It's
is.
very odd.
It's also off. I feel like I need to adjust my chair too. Yesterday during our post show, I lowered it, but it feels a little low this morning. I'll do that during our longer break.
Because that's a project. You can't do that in a couple of seconds. It's going to take
Well,
you good.
once it's tall, nobody needs to see me trying to climb back on it. So
Yeah, okay.
that's it's a conundrum in life. Oh yes. We got a texter saying that there's now and this is absolutely correct, a ranch in New Mexico also tied with Epstein.
Wow.
Mhm. I've seen
It's
that.
funny-
And I've seen that it's like ridiculously isolated too.
Yeah.
There was we started watching the second season of Cross on Prime, and pretty good. It's a good crime show, but the first episode opened with an island, a big financier's island, and all these young girls and somebody coming to free the women and get revenge on we don't know why yet, but she has some sort of familial ties.
Yeah, this texter's pointing out, and I've heard these rumors as well. I don't know how true they are, but there's rumors that at the ranch in New Mexico, there's actually a incinerator on the property.
We've got 15 seconds left, so I'm going to keep you from diving into that. And
Yes.
mute the mics.
Wow. Really?
It's 6:22 right
Wow.
now.
Wow, coming off our last conversation to go into Teenage Wasteland?
I was not prepared for that.
We're talking about the Who.
We are
Well,
talking
we
about-
are talking about the Who. They had a lot of songs other than Teenage We're coming out with a dog dying. Look up Casey Kasem part. Wow. Okay.
Okay.
Sorry, I'm
You know,
just a
it's
little
okay.
shocked.
It's all right. It's 6:23 right now. Civic Media Mornings on the Civic Media Network. My name is Jamie Martinson.
I'm not going to tell you who I am because I can't be associated with what just happened. But I will tell you, if you want to get involved in the program, and if you're as shocked as I am, 855-75-CIVIC, 855-752-4842. And yes, in very remote reaches, we are going to talk about The Who, but not Roger Daltrey, Pete Townsend,
No.
John Entwistle, and Keith Moon. We are talking about the World Health Organization and their Disease Alert Network, because the other night in the State of the State, Governor Evers said that he plans to have Wisconsin join that global outbreak alert and response network because he wants Wisconsin to have the ability to detect and respond to disease outbreaks. That sounds very well-intentioned. Sounds like a good idea. Other
Right.
states are doing it. And, the fact that the U.S. has pulled out of the World Health Organization is crazy, in my opinion. But so the governor wants to do this. I think it's great. But, Jamie, no surprise, one of our Republican gubernatorial candidates who has the blessing from above, from dear
That's right.
leader,
That's right.
he's not happy about this.
No, he's not. Tom Tiffany, of course, is who we're talking about. Let's be clear. This network shares early warnings, data, and expertise among more than 360 public health institutions around the world. So they got to know a thing or two, right? They know how to keep us healthy. They know how to
Well,
keep us safe.
Do you want to believe science or your own feelings?
Well, I guess in this case, we're going to believe our own feelings. And other states like California, Illinois, and New York have already agreed to join this World Health Organization Global Outbreak Alert and Response Network. So Governor Evers just wants to join them and basically, try to make sure that if there is something like another pandemic down the road, we have science leading the way instead of, what we might feel like is happening. The decision, though, is obviously political, because Tom Tiffany says that he would remove Wisconsin from the network if elected. Democrats say the partnership is a science-based step to keep residents safe and prepared for future health threats. Now, here's what Tom Tiffany had to say on X yesterday.
No, I listen. I'm reacting in advance because I read it. So.
I know. I'm trying to get through it because it's just so. It's not very long, but it's so riddled with inaccuracies and false information.
Why would you expect anything else?
I know. I guess maybe it's the Pollyanna and me hoping for better minds at some point. Tom Tiffany says, "Quote: I will immediately remove Wisconsin from any World Health Organization network during COVID.
Okay.
The WHO acted as a puppet for communist China. I led the fight in Congress against the WHO pandemic treaty and will always defend Wisconsin and America's sovereignty."
What does sovereignty have to do with it? This is a worldwide cooperative effort to fight diseases. Sovereignty? Are you insane?
Yes, they are insane. This is insane talk.
It is. And how are you defending Wisconsin by cutting off information? Because you didn't want to wear a mask, because somebody got upset that you couldn't go to church on a Sunday. Yeah. Please, can we go back and just show these people file footage of the temporary morgues and the piles of bodies? And were we inconvenienced? Yes, we were all inconvenienced. Did it suck? Yes, it did. Did it harm some businesses? Yes, it did. It was a disease we had no control over. And if you're still arguing that point, listen, go to med school, become an expert in diseases, but don't come at me because you went on Google and you think you know what you're talking about because you have zero idea.
Absolutely. I mean, that's essentially what this is. John from Oshkosh, listening on WISS this morning, says, "Heaven forbid we have leaders looking out for others' safety, the outrage." Yes. Couldn't agree more. And let's be clear, as of February, Wisconsin health officials have confirmed multiple measles cases tied to international travel, which is a reminder that diseases don't respect the borders. And just because you say that they don't exist and you don't want the science behind them doesn't mean that they actually don't harm people.
Yeah, Tiffany, talk to measles about your sovereignty. And I'm sure they will stop at the border.
Right.
And just maybe they'll stay in Canada or in Mexico, but they won't come here because you're sovereign.
And when I start hearing our world leaders, the people who are supposed to be helping, I mean, I don't want to say take care of us because we need to do that ourselves. But they're supposed to be helping protect our safety, right?
Right, and you and I aren't virologists. We're not supposed. We're supposed to take care of ourselves to a point. Then there's other people who are experts in this, who've studied this, who've devoted their lives to trying to figure out how to stop this. And they're the ones who are giving us the warnings. If we are too ignorant to heed those warnings, then that's back on us.
When did we start agreeing that science was not fact-based? When did we quit? That's what I keep going back to because I want people to tell me the facts. I want to know.
It started with vaccines well before the pandemic because people like Jenny McCarthy and all the alleged ties that have been debunked time and time again. And, the vaccines cause autism. No, they don't. No. That's been studied. We don't want to wear a mask, so all the science is fake. Well, the information you gave us yesterday is not the same information you're giving us today.
Because it changes, because it's science.
Well... Jamie, again, facts and logic have no place.
Hard for a lot of people.
Have no place in these arguments.
I mean, right now we're watching this presidential administration dismantle public health infrastructures. They're questioning vaccines. They're downplaying data. We need leaders focused on prevention and preparedness and science. So, I mean, make your choices wisely.
Drink whole milk, unless you talk to like Pam Yankee, who says whole milk is bad. But any actual ag person goes, No, you need some
No.
pasteurized milk.
No.
That's
And work
probably
out
better.
your genes just like RFK. 6:29 right now. You're listening to Civic Media Mornings. I'm Jamie Martinson.
And I'm Brian Noonan, and the Trumps are trying to make money on their name again.
Big surprise. Civic Media Mornings.
All right.
I'm going to change my chair.
All right. I'll put up.
No, you're good.
Yeah. Yeah.
I can either go up or down. That's what I can do. There we go. Oh, look at me. I'm tall now. And there.
Don't fall off.
It's a long fall down.
Ah.
It is. It is a long way.
Well, I don't have to rush off for the dogs today because Debbie changed her schedule this week and is working from home today and tomorrow.
Oh, nice.
So the dogs are. She has appointments, so she was like, "I'll go in Monday, Tuesday." She has to go in 3 days. She's like, "I'll do Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday." Okay, you tell me. It was so gorgeous yesterday.
Oh my gosh, it was so windy here though.
It was
the
super
temperature.
windy.
It was it was really windy. Did you guys get dirt rain?
No.
We got dirt rain. Yeah,
Whoa.
which I had never heard because Debbie. It was funny
new
because
one.
Debbie came home. She had just had her car washed the other day. She came home and she parks outside because she doesn't like to try to squeeze in the garage. And it rained the night before, and she said my car looked like it was covered in mud. And I was like, "Oh, that's weird." And then, like, not 3 minutes later, we're watching the news is on, and the weather guy comes out. He's talking about mud rain, dirt rain,
Weird.
because of all the wildfires that
Oh,
are
I
out to the west.
suppose.
All the debris is up in the sky, and I didn't know that a raindrop needs a speck of dust to be created, so the water will adhere to the dust. Well, there was so much dust that when the rain fell, and the rain was gone,
Yeah.
but the dirt remained. I had never heard
Interesting.
of dirt rain before.
No, that's an
No.
interesting. I should ask Corey if he has ever heard of that.
Yeah.
We know
Yeah, I would have thought you guys would know.
he knows
Yeah,
a
the-
lot of weird weather terms.
Yeah, this I had never heard, and then for her to bring it up and it to come on the news like a couple minutes
Yeah,
later.
right.
Go, wait a minute, what's? So I knew she hadn't made it up. Her car
My
was
phone
covered
is
in
listening
dirt.
to me. That's what that is.
Yeah.
Yeah, the phone's listening, but not Larry Mowry on ABC7 Chicago.
Hey, you don't know what he's got going
That's
on.
hilarious.
He might be.
He's a sneaky mother. Sneaky mother.
Oh, I took Aspen outside yesterday for her walk, and we didn't make it very far. She doesn't like wind.
Oh,
Any
okay.
other weather phenomenon is great. She doesn't love rain. She will muster through if there's good sniffs because the rain brings good sniffs. Wind is her like, no, I cannot do this. And so at one point she just looked up at me and it was so windy, her like whole face was pulled back from the wind and her ears were laying down. And I said, "Are you ready to go home?" And she like started heading in that direction. So we ended up doing a shorter walk.
Enough of
yesterday.
that. Yeah,
She
that's
hates
Maisie
wind.
is that way with lightning. She like thunder's okay and rain's okay. Wind, she's not a big fan, but lightning freaks her out. So to the point where we had to get a prescription for like a tranquilizer
Yep.
kind of thing and look ahead and go, all right, oh, there's supposed to be storms overnight. And because even if there's no sign, if she just sees the flashes,
Yeah.
she
Probably
oh,
doesn't
man.
understand the flashes.
She does, and she was homeless. She was out on the street when they found her. So who knows what
Right. What happened?
Yeah.
No, but no, she really hates the wind. So the
That's
rest of the day
funny.
she was like, no, and she's such a little badass. And so it's funny that she's scared of it's
Wind.
funny that she's scared of wind.
Wind is the one thing that really, well, unless it's a hurricane, can't really hurt you. It's just gonna.
She's hilarious. She just does not look happy at all, So
And every one of them is just like people. Everyone has their own personality, their own
Right?
foibles, their own
Yes.
little. It's like, oh, okay.
Roger sent us a message saying he experienced a dirt rain 4 years ago in March, driving and
Oh.
couldn't keep the windshield clean. So thank you for chiming in
Oh,
this morning,
thanks, Roger. See,
You're
all
not
right,
the
good.
only one.
Dirt rain. Who knew?
It wasn't the little pig pen cloud over the top of your
No.
house.
Thank God.
No, I've never heard of dirt rain. That's interesting.
Yeah.
All right. We got 25 seconds till we're back here.
.35 right now. Thank you for joining us this morning. If you're listening in Eau Claire on 93.5 The Tap or in Wausau on WXCO, if you're in the Appleton Oshkosh area listening on WISS, thank you so much for having us on this morning. We're going to have a chance for you to qualify for some State Fair concert tickets next hour, so be listening for your chance to text in and win. Win them before you can buy them even
Oh, that's
as
the
well.
best.
Right? Yeah.
Rub it
so
in your friends' faces. Ha ha.
be listening for the word of the hour next hour. My name is Jamie Martinson.
And good morning, I'm Brian Noonan. If you want to get in on the conversation, 855-75-CIVIC, 855-752-4842, or you can listen on the app. And as Jamie said, listen on the app. Go to YouTube if you want to stream the show and see what we look like and hear fascinating conversations during the
Show
break.
behind the show.
There was a lot of talk about dirt rain. You'll have to, how do we learn about dirt rain? Well, listen, go to the stream. Oh, my goodness. We know that nothing Donald Trump likes more than, there's a couple things probably. But one of is putting his name on stuff. He wants his name on everything. It's a central argument in one of the one of the statewide races here in Illinois regarding the Trump Tower and the big name and who allowed that to happen. We see it all the time. He loves monuments to himself. Mm-hmm. Well, now there is a bill in Florida, and lawmakers are advancing this to rename the Palm Beach International Airport as President Donald J. Trump International Airport. It passed the Florida House, 8130, now heads to the Senate and then goes to Ron DeSantis. Now, that in itself is just another eye roll. Like, oh my God, seriously, dude? We get it. You have very small parts that you need to overcompensate for. We get it.
President. We get it.
You're already the most powerful guy on the planet. Seriously, you need to name that. Well, all my friends fly into Palm Beach when they're coming to Mar-a-Lago. Okay, that's fine. Whatever. If you need your ego stroked that badly,
we get it.
This is not an issue. But the issue becomes, as we have talked about here and has been talked about all over, the Trump family is really, really benefiting from this term in office, up to $1 billion so far. And now they're trying to make sure that any time the president's whims are met and things are named after him, they will continue to enrich themselves.
They will, because at the same time this vote is happening, the Trump Organization filed trademarks for Donald J. Trump International Airport, President Donald J. Trump International Airport, and DJT, which has raised a lot of concerns among lawmakers. So some Democrats say that the trademark
DJT
filings could open the door for the Trump family to profit from branding or merchandise tied to the airport name, like they haven't already done this. And we actually will go through some of the other things they've done while in office.
Please do.
One lawmaker even reversed his support for the renaming in Florida and tried to add an amendment blocking any profit to this particular legislation, but that effort failed. Now, of course, the Trump Organization is saying that the family would not receive royalties or licensing fees from the airport name itself and would provide the branding at absolutely no cost. Remember, they've made over $1 billion in just the last year. However, the organization has not clarified whether it would profit from merchandise linked to that trademark.
I see.
Yeah, there's always little caveats, right?
Like the gift the gift shop he has in the Oval Office.
Yes. So trademark experts say that these filings are obviously unusual because airports named after past presidents typically didn't involve any sort of private trademark ownership. Applications cover a wide range of potential products and services, meaning the name could be potentially licensed for merchandise. Get your DJT International Airport t-shirt right here. I can see it now.
Oh, and you know what? Unfortunately, I can see the same people whose MAGA hats have worn out going, I need me a DJT International Airport shirt.
Yep.
Honey, I know we don't have money to pay the rent, but let's get on a flight and go into DJT Airport because I want to get a new Sunday go to meeting shirt.
Only $45.99, and that T-shirt can be yours.
He deserves it, though, Jamie. Please don't make fun of the price. I would pay any price
to support my president. He is the bestest man on the planet. So if I have to get some long johns with a flyaway bottom with the president's face right there, I would do it. And I will support that man, and I will proudly own the libs.
Sadly, I can't argue with the thing that you just said.
Thank you.
Supporters say trademarks could be used simply to prevent misuse of a name. Trump has floated renaming other transportation hubs like Washington Dulles International Airport, New York's Penn Station after himself, which could create confusion if multiple airports end up sharing the same name. Now, here's
Every airport code, instead of like MDW or MDS, it's all going to be
Right.
DJT. And air traffic controllers are going to go, okay,
What?
which one? Ladies and gentlemen, Friday there, DJT. Yeah, I'm supposed to be going to Cleveland. This is Akron.
yeah,
It's DJT. We're all
all
going
DJT.
to DJT.
we all live in DJT. So here's what Caroline Leavitt actually had to say during
Ooh.
Tuesday's daily press briefing. Cut one, please.
Can you explain why President Trump asked Chuck Schumer to help him rename Penn Station and Dulles Airport after himself? Why is he interested in having his name on those two buildings? And why are the Gateway Tunnel funds the proper point of pressure to get that to happen?
To your first question about the renaming, why not? It was something the president floated in his conversation with Chuck Schumer. As for the funding, the president has addressed that separately himself.
So
There you
are
have
you going to
it.
answer any of those questions,
Well,
Caroline?
no, we don't actually answer the questions. That's not what we actually do.
I think the answer to her first question is easy. Why not? No, why?
Why? It should be the continuing question out of reporter's mouth. Now, we mentioned it a few minutes ago, but I'm going to repeat this because reports estimate that Trump has made and the family has made at least $1.4 billion in personal profit. That's billion with a B, by the way.
Nice work
Since
if you can get
returning
it.
to office in 2025. So I found this fascinating because as this news was coming out yesterday about this trademark, Don Jr. and Eric were on CNBC doing an interview, and they were asked specifically about the family's conflict of interest. Here's what he had to say. Cut two, please.
We've been dealing with the conflict of interest stuff for years. I mean, they tried all this nonsense the first time around. Frankly, it's gotten old. They were the ones that put us into this position by creating legislation to try to put us out of business. We just fought back. We weren't willing to sit in a corner, curl up in a ball and die like they would love us to do.
Well, don't put words in our mouth, Don, but, whatever. Who's the they? Is it
The family. The
myth-
family in
no,
general.
No. Who's the they that tried to put them,
Oh,
they, them?
yes. I believe
Is it
that
the
would
mythical
be,
Democrats?
I think so. I
The
think that
all-powerful Democrats
he's
who are trying
referring
to
to
ruin
the
them?
Democrats, and he's referring to anybody who basically disagrees with the family and their ability to make money as the first family of the United States. I also think it's the irony here is really thick with Don Jr.'s comments, right? Because this family has spent years attacking the Biden crime family over trading on a famous name. And now critics are saying that the Trump family is doing the same thing on a much larger scale. Well, they just want us to curl up and die. No. What are we doing?
My head spins trying to because there's no counter argument to them. No matter how many facts are presented, no matter how many numbers are presented, nothing sticks to them. They will deflect, they deny, and go on the counterattack and argue as we learned yesterday when we were talking about the affordability and things. Argue in the alternative. That's a legal term. So they don't argue to defend themselves. They argue against other people. So
Absolutely.
because there is no defense. That's the thing. They have no defense.
No,
And yet
absolutely.
They keep talking.
And here we are.
Len from Madison texted in, and you can too at 855-75-CIVIC. How about Trump bathroom tissue with his face on every sheet? I think that's out there already. He could make another fortune, a real wipeout.
Ooh,
Boom.
puns for days. I love
Good
it. Thank
morning.
you so
Thanks,
much,
Len.
Len. No, I think it is interesting, though, that this is not the first time, as a lot of us are aware, that this family and the administration have benefited. So just a little reminder of some of the profit-making ventures, we'll call them, that this family has had. This is just, we're going to start with the current term. A large share of the wealth is tied to cryptocurrency ventures, estimated at about $867 million.
Trump coin.
That's right. His company has also pursued more than 20 international real estate and licensing projects, including a $1.5 billion golf project in Vietnam that started shortly before the tariffs on that country were lowered. There's also been major media and business deals, including $28 million paid by Amazon for that Melania Trump documentary, and more than $90 million in legal settlements from tech and media companies after his reelection. Qatar also gifted a $400 million jet intended for presidential use.
Wait a minute. Let's not lump that in. Do you expect him to just fly around in his own plane that Obama used?
Oh, I can't imagine that the plane that was set for presidents for many years and is secure and has everything you need in it. It's basically like its own little flying condo, but it wasn't gold laden. So I understand where the consternation came.
I think I saw that they're repainting it, actually.
Are they?
They are.
Gold? Okay.
I haven't seen
his
the
favorite
design
colors.
is,
It just said his favorite colors. Yes, you are correct.
Which are what? Do we
So-
know what his favorite colors are?
Just gold.
Green and gold.
All right, green and gold.
Green
All right.
for the money,
Pack, go.
gold because that's rich.
Now, if we look back at
Oh, I
the
forgot
first
about
term, Trump reported more than $1.6 billion in outside revenue. His businesses received millions from foreign governments, including $5.5 million from China at Trump properties. The Secret Service was also reported to have paid above standard rates when staying at Trump-owned hotels during
gouged his own
presidential travel.
protection.
He did. He also earned millions through branded merchandise, including the Bibles, the watches, and even those sneakers. And hey, folks, if you're wondering how we're getting by with this, we shouldn't be, because in the Constitution, you have the emoluments clause.
Oh, and may I read that?
Yes,
May I read
please,
them?
please, please.
The president shall, at stated times, receive for his services a compensation which shall neither be increased or diminished during the period for which he shall have been elected, and he shall not receive within that period any other emolument from the United States or any of them. So, he is not supposed to be taking gifts, big gifts.
Remember when he wasn't even going to be accepting? He didn't need it. He wasn't even going to be taking a salary as president of the United States.
He doesn't. It would be a pay cut from what he's raking in now.
Right? Yes. And so, I mean, here's the thing, though. If you voted for this, is this what you voted for? I mean, that's the question that I keep going back to, because if you're a Republican, you would have been so upset if Obama had done this, if Biden had done this, if any other Democrat had been doing this.
There's only one person who can lead us. And China spent $5.5 million. You mean the China that he's always angry at and always putting tariffs on? He made money from them.
Who's going to also make that T-shirt with his face on it that says DJT International Airport,
sure.
right?
Yes. All the tiny laborer fingers in China making his DJT merch. I saw those Bibles when I was covering the Republican convention, and I saw the size of the gift shops, and it was incredible.
There's a lot of merch. There's a lot of merch,
and like, I don't understand this. And then I don't know if you saw Megyn Kelly raging on that the Democrats are a cult, and I'm like, no, wait, a cult worships one leader who can never do anything wrong. Maybe look in the mirror, Megan, and the rest of the group.
Well, you'd think at some point they'd have to, but
Nope.
it sure hasn't worked up until this point. It's 6:48 right now. You're listening to Civic Media Mornings. My name is Jamie Martinson.
And I'm Brian Noonan. Let's turn our attention to state parks before those are taken away, too. We'll talk about that and more on the Civic Media Network.
We're going to name all state parks DJT State Park.
DJT State Park.
You'll have no idea what state park you're ever visiting in which state, because they'll all just be called DJT.
And then you won't be able to go to national parks because those will all be oil refineries.
Right.
So,
right.
Why can't we stop him? And then
that's just the point.
Who was
The
the latest to
emoluments-
have Trump? Oh, it was yesterday. Hillary Clinton had Trump derangement syndrome.
Oh,
Everybody's got this. How come he believes in that disease, but not measles and COVID and everything else? But the Trump derangement syndrome is the one disease they all think is legit. I can't.
It's pretty ridiculous.
If this job doesn't give me a stroke, I don't know what will.
Talk about state. We've been to a lot of state parks in this state, so this is kind of a fun subject.
I think I love state parks. I love national parks. Because it's your one chance to get out where nothing can infringe on it. You're actually out in the wilderness.
Right. Roger's asking a good question right now over
What's up,
on
Roger?
Facebook. He says, how many Americans actually know how much the presidential base salary is? It's a rarely asked question. That is a good question. Let me see if I can.
It's low.
It used to be like 235 or something, but
Right.
let's see.
Well, yeah, so that's like a pittance compared to what this administration is making.
Yeah.
Well, again, none of it was supposed to be.
So the U.S. president, according to the Googles, receives a taxable base salary, Roger, I hope you're listening, of $400,000 per year. It's remained fixed since 2001. So Trump is making like 100 times more than that, which is great. In addition to his salary, the president receives a $50,000 annual expense allowance, a $100,000 non-taxable travel account, and a $19,000 entertainment budget. And his salary is paid monthly. So if you combine all of it with the salary, the expenses allowed, and it can be right around $570,000 annually.
All right. Well, it's a 24/7 job. So
Right.
I don't begrudge anybody
Is
that.
it for him? Is it
Not for him? No, not
Okay.
for him.
It's supposed
But it's supposed to be.
Right.
I don't know.
Yeah. Yeah. It's kind of insane. The branded sneakers. Remember those tacky
Those
gold
did not
sneakers?
last. Like most of his business ventures, they were only out for. There was a huge uproar. He went to some sneaker convention. He got booed. Nobody, very
Right.
few people bought them.
That's not his crowd.
Yeah. Alicia on YouTube saying they believe in TDS because Trump was the only one who created it. True.
True.
We'll be back in 10 seconds.
It's 6:52 right now. You're listening to Civic Media Mornings on the Civic Media Network. Thank you so much for joining us. Some cooler temperatures around the state today. Some areas going to receive some snow as well. We said fake spring. That was the thing. My name is Jamie Martinson.
And good morning. I'm Brian Noonan. Do you go to state parks in Wisconsin? If so, what ones would you recommend? 855-75-CIVIC, 855-752-4842. I think the national park system and the state park systems are two of the greatest things we have in this country because it does give us a link to the past and a true place to go and connect with nature. And the Wisconsin state parks saw almost 21 million visitors last year. That is good, and it's the highest since 2021. But Jamie, some state parks are not they're not being put to good use. Some are visited a lot, some not so much.
Yeah, and it's interesting because last year was the 125th anniversary of the Wisconsin State Park system, and visits actually increased from right around 20 million in 2024 to just over 20 million, and just over 20 million in 2023, I should say. The system does include 50 state parks, 44 trails, and 15 state parks. Now, if you live in the southern portion of the state, you are probably very familiar with Devil's Lake State Park. It is actually the most visited state park in the state, around 2.3 million visitors annually. Now, we lived in Baraboo for a very long time. Devil's Lake State Park was a very important part of our summer rituals. I will say this, as beautiful as it is, as much as I love Devil's Lake State Park, you feel every bit of those 2.3 million visitors.
Oh, really? Oh.
It is really hard to do a lot at Devil's Lake during peak summer months. I personally, in the area, love Governor Dodge State Park, which is a little bit more of a drive. If you do a little hiking, there's a wonderful waterfall kind of buried deep down, which is absolutely exquisite and so awesome to hang out in. I also am a stickler for Mirror Lake State Park. A lot less traffic, great hiking trails. If you love to kayak and camp, it's got some beautiful, beautiful scenery.
Really?
And let's be realistic, Ishnala, the supper club, is also in Mirror Lake. So there you
we
have
are not getting you're not getting a free dinner for that mention?
No, I am not.
That is unfortunate.
You know, if you love a good supper club and you want an iconic one, just be prepared to wait because they don't take reservations and it's always very busy.
Grab about 8 old fashions and go sit by the lake, and then you can really commune with nature.
Yes, you absolutely can. They got a nice little beach there and everything. But I actually love Mirror Lake. Actually, was about maybe 5-minute drive from our house when we lived in the Dells, Baraboo, Reedsburg area. So I spent a lot of time hiking at Mirror Lake. Now, for the other most visited parks in the state of Wisconsin, behind Devil's Lake State Park, you have Kettle Moraine State Park, the southern unit, with just about 1.5 million visitors last year. Peninsula State Park, also fantastic.
Really?
Received just over 1 million visitors. And some others that made the list, High Cliff State Park, which is over near the Green Bay area, also absolutely beautiful. The Kohler Andre State Park and Rib Mountain, also some of our most visited last year. And then, Brian, of course, if you have your most visited, you have your least visited.
Yes.
Menominee River Recreation Area was the least visited last year with about 7,500 visitors. And some others to make the least visited list include Governor Knowles State Park, the Natural Bridge State Park, which is over by the North Freedom area. It's not a big state park, but it's a really cool if you love hiking. The scenery is beautiful, and so you definitely need to check it out if you're in that vicinity. And Buffalo River State Trail, also one of the least visited over the last year. So
and it's funny, like
options.
Buffalo River and some of the others of the least visited, there seem to be more, they get a lot of their visitors in the fall. So that's when people are heading out to leaf peep. And
but Rib Mountain is fantastic for leaf peeping, by the way. Yes. Alicia chiming in on our YouTube chat this morning saying Hyde Cliff and Maribel Caves, which is a county park, are wonderful. Totally agree with both of those assessments. So, there's plenty of opportunity all around the state, no matter really where you're at, to check out some really cool state parks. So please do so.
Yeah, and if you don't want to go to Baraboo and fight the crowds, there's plenty of other places to go.
Yeah, absolutely. We've got Mark from Prairie du Sac on the phone this morning. Mark, what do you got for us?
Yeah, well, there's the park that I grew up with was Pattison State Park in far northern Wisconsin, south of Superior there.
Mm-hmm.
That beautiful park with the two with the waterfalls there, the Big Manitou Falls and Little Manitou Falls that
nice.
Yeah.
That are on the river. That it's a great. I learned to swim in Inner Falls Lake that. Where they had a little dammed up lake there, and it's just a beautiful park, and that's one of the older parks, donated I think by one of the lumbermen. Donated the territory by one of the lumbermen back in the day, and because he wanted people to have a place to enjoy.
Yeah, thank you
so
much for the call.
We'll have to put it on the list.
Morning.
Thank you, Mark.
That's one of the areas I want to get up to is into that northern part to go see the falls and to really camp up there. We do our fair share of camping.
Are you
I
tent
hike
campers?
a lot.
Are you?
We are a pop-up trailer camper. Yes, that's what we do, which is essentially like having a tent and not any less work than if you actually were tent camping.
I was going to say it looks like it would be more work other than you're up off the ground, I guess.
Yes, that's
the benefit.
That's essentially all it is. And you can close it up if the nights get cool. Now, if you're interested in visiting any of these exquisite state parks that we have to offer around the state, if you have a Wisconsin license, a 12-month pass is $28. A daily pass is $13.
That's dirt cheap.
It is, but if you're going to come from out of state, because I know we have some streamers in the out-of-state area, you can get a 12-month pass for $50 or a daily pass for $16. So, pretty reasonable, though, if you want to spend some time in Wisconsin.
Yeah, exactly.
I like
it'll be it'll be that time soon.
Yeah,
I'm sure over the
absolutely.
last couple days, people have thought, "Oh, well, let's go out and." There's been some hiking going on the last couple days.
Yes, yes. Oh, I would love to be out on the trails right now. I always wait till it's a little less muddy, though. I don't like the mud. And the dog goes with me, so it's not worth the hassle.
Definitely.
It's 6:59 right now. You're listening to Civic Media Mornings. My name is Jamie Martinson.
And I'm Brian Noonan, and tariffs are hitting your favorite motorcycle company. We'll talk about that and more in the next hour on the Civic Media Network.
We should have Ricardo coming in here.
Already lost his homes, his reputation and his titles. Now he is under arrest by British police on suspicion of misconduct in public office. It is the first time a senior member of the royal family has ever been taken into custody.
ABC Royals contributor Dr. Robert Jobson on what happens next.
We have to wait and see if Andrew is actually charged. Once the moment is that he's charged with anything, then of course all this conjecture has to stop in the media and it becomes a police case.
The family of Virginia Giuffre, who long accused Epstein and Andrew of sexual misconduct and who died by suicide last year, issuing a statement saying this shows no one is above the law, even royalty. This is ABC News.
This report brought to you by Chad's Design Build. See their dedicated team of experts. Remodeling done well with love. chadsdesignbuild.com.
All right. I see we've got Ricardo here.
Perfect.
Good morning, Ricardo. How are you doing?
Doing good. Can you guys hear me?
Yes.
Yep,
Good
we
morning,
can.
Ricardo. Good to see you.
Good to see you, Brian.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Thank you for joining us bright and early.
The man's always working. He's always on the story.
I've got a 4-year-old, so I've been up for a while.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yes, I remember those days. Not always fondly, but I remember those days.
Blast.
Everything good?
Everything's good on my end.
No, I mean like your life, not the
life?
connection. Yeah, not. I don't care about the connection, the tech. You're always.
I tell people I live 10 minutes at a time.
Oh, really?
Let me get through this 10 minutes, and then I'll worry about the next 10 minutes when it gets here.
Right.
Jimmy Ricardo was one of my first producers when I was doing weekends at the old TMJ back up on Capitol Avenue. Yes, we had some Saturday afternoon fun.
I love that.
Yep.
During the time when the bosses weren't listening.
Yeah, exactly.
So is that a switch from radio producing to
journalism?
Journalism. Thank you. Words this morning hard. I've been up since 4, so anyway, but I'm sorry I interrupted you.
No, I view it all as journalism, and I was technically a reporter while I was doing the radio thing part-time.
Okay.
So
cool.
Yeah, he's worked all over before he got to the Journal Sentinel. And what, you've been there 5 years, 6 years?
6 years. January 2020.
So proud. A guy who scared the shit out of me in a Mike Myers mask during our Halloween show is now a respected journalist. And I'm still yapping.
So what you're saying, he's like a real person. So that's kind of fun.
He's a professional. Yeah, he was,
Love it.
and we had a good time. So that was just, And I always appreciate your willingness to come on and
this is
share
awesome.
the stories because, we're not paying for tariffs. China's paying for the tariffs.
That was one of the things. We could get into it later. But
Yeah, we'll
they didn't
get into
really
it.
say how they passed it on or what, but yeah, we get into it in a few minutes.
Yeah. Do we want to start with should we quickly do the AJR word
Yeah.
and then
Yeah,
with
throw
that
that
they can
out.
text in?
Is that record or record?
Could be whatever you want.
I'm going to say.
Because if we say record and somebody.
We could
don't know how
say
to
either.
spell.
However you want it to be today, but it's spelled the same, so it doesn't matter. Just text the word. I don't care what your pronunciation is. You're not saying it to me.
I think one of you says record, the other says record.
Okay.
Okay.
I lean into it.
Okay. Yeah, we should not have these ambiguous words.
Well, nobody knows what a record. Well, no, our listeners would know what a record is.
Yes.
I know what Brian.
Wow, Parker, a little defensive. Relax. I said our listeners. I didn't say you're too young to know what a record.
Do they?
Everyone.
I hope.
Do they?
If I do.
That's a very low bar.
Exactly.
I don't think you're giving people too much credit.
Fair.
A lot of people don't know anything.
That's why we have this show.
Yeah, to show that most people don't know anything. Host included. Co-host
They love
included.
the concept, though.
Yeah. I know very few things.
That was... Yes, we have a lot of shakeups here, Ricardo, and people upset that some shows have been ended and not ashamed to let us know it.
We will be back in 20 seconds.
Well, I'm glad you're still doing your thing.
Me too, brother. Me too.
It's 7:06 right now. You are listening to Civic Media Mornings on the Civic Media Network. My name is Jamie Martinson.
And I'm Brian Noonan. Good morning. It is time for a text to win. Jamie, we're going to give people a chance to go to the state fair and see AJR before they can buy their tickets. And I don't know what any of those words meant, but I know what tickets and free and before they go on sale mean. I don't know AJR, but I'm sure people do, and they're very excited.
They probably are. AJR stands for Alex, Jack, and Ryan. They are three brothers who have a band. Some of their big hits include Bang, Way Less Sad, World's Smallest Violin, and Record Player. And as you mentioned, tickets do go on sale Friday morning, 10 a.m., wistatefair.com. But right now, you have a chance to beat the box office and text us in this keyword for a chance to potentially win a pair of tickets before they go on sale. So today's keyword is... Well, we were just talking about this in the break. Record?
It's record.
Record? All right. Either way, it's spelled the same. R-E-C-O-R-D, R-E-C-O-R-D. That is the word that you need to get to us. You can text us that word through your Civic Media app. You can find it for free over at your Google store, your Apple store. Find your favorite Civic Media station and text the keyword record, R-E-C-O-R-D, for your chance to win a pair of tickets to AJR. You have until 8 a.m. to get us that word. And remember, they will be at the Wisconsin State Fair. All right. So with that, let's get on to business, huh?
Yeah, because we talk about tariffs all the time. We hear who pays them, who's supposed to pay them, who doesn't pay them. And then we also pay attention when tariffs hit close to home. New piece in the Journal Sentinel says that Harley-Davidson, your favorite motorcycle company, paid an unbelievable amount of tariffs in 2025. Joining us now is the reporter who put that story to paper, Ricardo Torres. He is a reporter with the Milwaukee Journal Sentinel. He covers business, politics, breaking news. Every once in a while, a sports story thrown in there because he's a well-rounded individual. You can read all his work at jsonline.com. Ricardo, good to have you here. Thanks very much for being here this morning. So let's not, to use a journalistic term, let's not bury the lead. Despite the administration telling us that other countries pay for tariffs, how much did Harley-Davidson have to pay in tariffs in 2025?
Harley-Davidson paid $67 million in tariffs all of 2025, which, believe it or not, is lower than what the company was expecting to pay back in May. The company thought at that time that they might have to pay as high as $175 million. Now, that was shortly after Trump announced tariffs on dozens of countries. And so the word the company uses is volatile. It was a very volatile year. So overall, they ended up paying less than what they thought they would pay about a year ago, but still $67 million.
So where did the biggest chunk of that come from? Was it the steel and aluminum that is used to make the motorcycles and their products?
Yeah, there was a 50% tariff on steel and aluminum,
Wow.
which cost Harley Davidson about $31 million. In terms of which country Harley Davidson had to pay tariffs to, or which country that they did business with that impacted them the most, Canada was one of the highest with 35%, which cost the company $8 million. And then there were tariffs on China, Mexico, India, Thailand, and the European Union, which cost the company $17 million.
Let's go back to what you said before. What made the company believe back in May that they were going to have to pay so much more? Now, $67 million is nothing to sneeze at, but $175 is crazy. Was it just market prices? You mentioned volatility. What gave them that number?
So this was just their projections at the time. They weren't really sure how much they were going to pay, what tariffs were going to stick. There were a lot of threats of tariffs last year that ended up not being as high as what the president originally said that he wanted to put on countries. And there were other times when it was just slightly lower or not at all. There was a 90-day pause on tariffs for China, which helped save the company millions of dollars. So this was just a company that was doing what a lot of companies were doing last year, which was just kind of guessing what these impacts would be. And at the end of the year, yes, $67 million is still $67 million. And Harley Davidson needs every dollar it could get.
Mm-hmm.
We're talking with Ricardo Torres. He is a journalist over at Milwaukee Journal Sentinel, jsonline.com. If you want to check out his work, he covers business, politics, and breaking news. Now, as we kind of look ahead a little bit, Harley says that they expect tariffs in 2026 could reach, again, probably broad based on what we know or what projections are, but $75 to $105 million. So why do they think that costs will rise over the next year based off of projections from last year into this coming year?
I think that's just a conservative estimate on the company's part. They're trying to prepare as best as they can for whatever the administration throws at them in terms of tariffs. And so they're doing what a lot of companies are doing, which is trying to bake in some sort of expectations of what could happen in the future, because $75 and $105 million is a really big difference. And so this is something that the company is just trying to manage along with other companies.
So Ricardo, I'm probably like a lot of people. I hear Harley and I think 100% American, and then then we learn all the things that have to be imported. Does Harley have any plans to do more U.S. sourcing? Are they trying to find things that would cut down that $67 million that they're having to pay in tariffs?
Well, Harley says 3 of their 4 biggest manufacturing centers are based in the United States, and their core U.S. product is manufactured in the United States. So they emphasize to investors and to analysts that they do a lot of their product. They make a lot of it here at home. But that being said, there are components that they import from places like China and other countries overseas. So they're trying to mitigate that as much as they can, and they're trying to be in contact with the administration as much as they can. They even said on their presentation that they're grateful for the U.S. administration and Congress for continuing to listen to Harley Davidson as these discussions go on.
You mentioned that they're trying to mitigate the tariff impacts, and have they said what that looks like in practice at this point?
At this point, they haven't been so specific as to what changes they're going to make. Again, they make a lot of their product on the United States, and so I would imagine that they would probably, if they wanted to move some of their supply chain home or to countries where there is more favorable tariff rates, But again, this is still a very volatile situation, and they're trying to manage it as best they can.
Now, for people who ride Harleys, who are in the market for Harleys, we know if they're paying $67 million more in tariffs, it would make sense that that cost would be passed down to the consumer. Has there been any talk of that? How are the numbers that you reported on affecting consumers?
So Harley Davidson wasn't specific as to how they're paying for these tariffs. And so they could theoretically pass it on to the customer, or they could eat the cost themselves. After their third quarter results, if you want to move back about 6 months or so, they recorded a profit of $377 million.
Okay.
And that was due in large part to them selling their financial division a deal that was about $5 billion. So they had some cash to play with and to not put that burden on the customers, because they already have kind of an expensive bike if you want to get a new one,
Yeah.
which is a problem that
Yeah.
Harley Davidson is trying to reduce. They know that they have issues with affordability, and they're planning later on this year to introduce a bike that is about $6,000 or less, to try to get younger consumers that don't have the expendable income for $15,000, $20,000, $25,000 bike. Maybe we could put something together a little bit. They wouldn't say cheaper. They would say not as expensive, but
Right.
but
Cheaper,
they're
cheaper's
trying.
how you and I talk, so we'll go with cheaper.
All companies avoid the C word. as I
Of
call it.
course.
Right. Tom from Hartford chiming in on WMDX texting saying, are they hoping for higher sales? Is that anything that you got out of your reporting? Are they hoping with maybe the $6,000 price point to maybe have more sales, or even sell some of their more luxury bikes to those who can actually afford some of their increased prices potentially?
Absolutely, they would love more sales, and
Every
at the-
company would.
Yeah, I was going to say
Every
that
company
doesn't
wants
set
more
them
sales.
apart.
At the end of the fourth quarter last year, their sales in North America rose 5%, which is a good direction. And even for its electric motorcycle division, LimeWire, which the company spun off into a separate company, those sales for those motorcycles went up 9%. Now, when you talk about percentages, you could kind of play with the numbers differently depending on what kind of results you want to portray to people. But they do have some positive bright spots out there, some optimism.
Is it, other than the fact that they're not sure what their tariff costs will be in 2026, did they lay out any other expectations for the upcoming year, or is it kind of are they in a wait and see holding pattern?
So they have a big strategic plan coming up in May, which they weren't very specific about. So I'm anticipating them talking about lowering prices and the less expensive bikes. As I mentioned before, they talked on the call about customization, which I thought was interesting, that they want to really lean into the individuality of riders. Their new CEO, Artie Stars, he mentioned this anecdote in which he went to a hog meeting in Milan, and all these riders were talking to him about their bikes, and it was really part of their identity. And so he wants to lean into that more. But Harley Davidson already offers customization for some of its components. So I'm not exactly 100% sure like what exactly is changing there. And so that's something that I'm looking into for a future story, and hopefully I could get some more answers and report back to you guys.
Yeah, that would be great.
Great, yeah.
What's next on, what are you covering today when you go in? What's the big story?
So, like I said, still following up on Harley Davidson. There's been some changes with EPA and emissions at the Trump administration that we're wondering how does that impact local companies. And, I always got to keep myself flexible just in case something breaks. You never know.
Absolutely.
Well, it's good to talk to you. Ricardo Torres is a journalist for the Milwaukee Journal-Sentinel. You can read all his work at jsonline.com. Ricardo, always a pleasure. Good to talk to you. And for those who don't know, Ricardo and I go way back. Just he was actually one of my very first producers in another lifetime. But congratulations on everything. Great work on this Harley Davidson story, and we will talk to you again soon.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. Have a great day. It is 7:19 right now. You are listening to Civic Media Mornings. My name is Jamie Martinson.
And I'm Brian Noonan. Oh, ICE is not only affecting citizens, now it's affecting Girl Scouts, who
Not
are
the
also
cookies.
citizens. Yeah, cookies
Not
are in
the
danger.
cookies.
We have to talk about it, and we'll do that next on the Civic Media Network.
All right.
Thank you, sir.
All right.
Thank you so
Always
much.
a pleasure.
Yes,
We'll
thank you very
talk to you
much.
again, Ricardo.
No
I
problem.
appreciate you
it,
jumping on, man.
I hope it made sense and I sounded okay.
That was great.
You sounded great. You sounded great. Miss seeing you in person, but this will do for now. Take care, man.
Sounds good. All right.
Thank
Bye.
you.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Think about that, though. If these companies are going in and projecting $175 million, right, in like tariffs, think of what other companies are having to project as well, and what those books are like right
And
now.
Small companies, not big
Right.
multinational companies like Harley Davidson, but a
Even your mom
local-
and pops have to
Yeah.
deal.
Yeah, it's ridiculous.
Doesn't make any sense.
Boy, and they still stick to no other countries pay the tariffs.
No, they don't. They don't. I think at some point we should address the text that we got in.
Which one?
It went way up to it's I got to find it. He doesn't have a name, but he talks about being a former Republican, a former Trump voter.
That caught my eye as well.
I didn't see it.
As
As a
I've got
former
it.
MAGA, I must caution
Yeah.
against talking
Talking
down
down.
or elitism.
Yeah.
Are we? I wonder are we talking down? Or I don't consider myself an elitist at all.
No, I don't either.
Well, that's something. Hopefully, if Frank is listening. Oh, Frank doesn't listen on the stream. Oh, yes, he does.
Yes,
Make
he
a
does.
note to Frank. You can give us feedback on that.
Just a
I think
bunch
we
of
should-
elitist snobs on here.
I
I'm
think we should.
sorry, you don't understand what elitist means.
I think we should definitely talk about it, though. I think that is.
I think that's something. I think it's something. Maybe we do. We want to save it for Monday for the launch day
We could.
because it goes to the new.
That would make sense.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's actually a really good idea.
Yeah, absolutely.
So, if somebody wants to copy that and put it in the in the thing, it'd be a good way to open
We
open
got
the show on Monday.
10 seconds here.
So maybe you can respond to him and just go, "That's a good point. We'll be talking about that on Monday."
We hope you are having a great start to your. Are we on Thursday? Wednesday?
It is Thursday.
Is it
It
Thursday? I'm
is
so screwed up this
Thursday.
Frank
week.
didn't know what day it was
So
yesterday.
screwed up this week.
You don't know what day it is
Thursday.
today.
It's almost a weekend. You're listening to Civic Media Mornings on the Civic Media Network. My name is Jamie Martinson.
And I'm Brian Noonan. And if you're counting on me to be the one who remembers days and is most organized, you are all in a lot of trouble. But it is Thursday. We are glad you're here. 855-75-CIVIC, 855-752-4842. And you have about 27 minutes, yes, to text in record or record.
Record, whichever.
Either RECORD. And then you'll be eligible for a chance to win some AJR tickets to the State Fair. Oh, the State Fair is coming. I cannot wait. It'll be good to get a little fried dough and some other things.
Oh,
Just
sounds
wander
amazing.
around in the heat.
You win those tickets before they even go on sale tomorrow morning at 10 a.m. And remember, you got to text us through your Civic Media app. Just select your favorite station and text us that word. Again, RECORD, 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 whichever you prefer this morning.
Yeah.
We won't hold it against you, however
You don't
wanna
have to
pronounce
say it to us. You just have to
gotta
type it.
type it,
So
yeah.
Type it the same way. Oh, once again, your mood lighting in the studio.
I know,
If
the
you
sun
watch
is
on
coming
the,
in.
Yeah. sometime, I know we're glad you're listening on your terrestrial stations or on the app. We love that. If you ever get a chance at about this time every morning to tune into the YouTube stream and see the sun come in and cascade across Jamie as she delivers the facts and opinions on the day, it's quite startling.
Well,
it's not. I mean, startling in a good way. It's
startling. It's fine.
Yeah, I don't know. You just got to start wearing sunglasses.
I would pull the blinds, except it reflects off of the glass building that right across the road from us, then that directly reflects back into the studio. So it actually, and it's just low enough that it actually wouldn't help, and I'd have to be in complete darkness. We'll work on it though. I'm already in complete darkness, so it's fine.
I was going to say,
it's good.
facts don't function in the dark, isn't that?
I am seeing spots, though. It's really hard to read anything that I have written down right now, but it's
Parker,
good.
can you aren't you supposed to just go in there and block the sun from Jamie's eyes? Isn't that part of the aquarium task?
Hold up my hand there.
Yeah, just stand. Just stand there.
This is natural. This is what everybody should look like.
There's our street cam if you're wondering what we're dealing with here.
Oh, that street cam needs to be
But it's a
washed.
beautiful morning. It's a beautiful morning. So enjoy another couple of days of warmer weather before it gets a little cold for the next few and gets more winter-like again.
That's
Let's just
right.
say that.
And if you need a little treat, maybe this is the time of year you would love a Girl Scout cookie, and you've been thinking, well, Brian, yeah, that's all well and good. I'd love me some Thin Mints or Tagalongs, but no young ladies have knocked on my door. Yeah, that's probably not going to happen. It's been happening for a while where the Girl Scouts have been kind of shying away from the door-to-door things because, let's be honest, there's a lot of creeps behind a lot of doors.
There's a lot of awful people out there.
A lot of awful people. But this year it's a little bit different because the Girl Scouts River Valley's cookie program is going digital. That includes 48 counties here in Minnesota and Wisconsin, plus Osceola County in Iowa, and they're doing it because ICE. ICE is scaring off some of the Girl Scouts and their families and forcing them to go online because they don't want to be out selling cookies. And well, I'll let you decide if that's sad or not.
Well, through March 29th, customers can buy cookies using the Girl Scouts digital cookie platform where individual scouts create these online storefronts and then share their links through social media, text, and email. Some of the booths and those in-person sales will still happen, but there's going to be fewer than usual. Who doesn't love to go into a grocery store and come out and hand some cute little Girl Scouts money and take your favorite Girl Scout cookie home? Mine would be a Thin Mint, but, I digress. Now, leaders say that the cookie program remains the world's largest girl-led entrepreneurship program. It teaches skills like goal setting and money management and also business ethics.
Yeah, some of these girls are tough business people.
They really are.
They're like 7, and they're haggling or upselling. They're doing.
Yes.
It's like, all right, easy, Sash Monster.
I love it.
I'll buy another box.
I love it. So this year, there's a virtual group called Troop 2026. It was created to support scouts whose cookie sales have been disrupted, and it allows people to buy cookies while helping fund Girl Scout programs, trips, and community projects. Nice. Now, I did a little digging into this, and outside of COVID, when obviously we weren't doing in-person sales or going door to door, and everything was already shut down, and things were moving online. The last time Girl Scouts had to stop traditional door-to-door cookie sales was during World War II. Back then, there was rationing of sugar, flour, and butter, and obviously it made baking cookies nearly impossible, so the Girl Scouts pivoted to selling calendars and even collecting scrap metal to raise money until cookie sales returned after the war. My point to all of this is you have to go back to World War II to the Girl Scouts collecting scrap metal to understand, or a global pandemic, to understand that the fact that they can't sell cookies in a traditional manner is just sad.
And
it's
what do two of those have in common? Nazis. But I digress.
So if you think about this for a second, though, I mean, war rationing, deadly pandemic, and now immigration enforcement concerns are the reasons that these girls can't sell cookies in a traditional manner.
It's hard. It's a hard thing because I didn't have a problem when Molly was a Girl Scout. and they started saying, well, try to do it a different way so you're not going door to door. She still did a lot of door to door.
Sure.
My wife would go with her, and they'd go, on a Saturday morning, and they'd hit the neighborhood or right after work. But that part, it's the reason behind it. If you choose not to walk with your daughter door to door, that's one thing. But if you're afraid to leave your house because people are getting snatched off the street,
You might not make it back home.
right?
Literally.
Right. So that's where the problem becomes or comes in. So listen, I'm always a fan of supporting Girl Scout. However you get the cookies, we
Right.
bought ours this year outside of a Trader Joe's.
Love it.
And that girl, man, oh man, she upsold my wife like nobody's business.
Wait,
It was crazy.
business sales, radio salespeople could learn a thing or two from those Girl
Yeah,
Scouts.
they
Let me
should-
tell you. And go
exactly.
support them online. Go support them online and buy your Girl Scout cookies.
Exactly.
It is 7:29 right now. You're listening to Civic Media Mornings. My name is Jamie Martinson.
And I'm Brian Noonan. When we come back, we'll talk about gerrymandering in Wisconsin and what can be done. We'll do it on the Civic Media Network.
I like the idea that we should be recruiting Girl Scouts to do our sales for us.
If we
Yes.
could get
I think
some
that's a
girls.
fantastic idea.
Yeah, but see, then we'd have to, they don't operate for money. We'd have to have prizes instead of a salary.
Yes,
So we would have to get our traditional salespeople to just get some
Yes.
donation stuff, and then we'd have the Girl Scouts sell time, and then we'd give them that same flyer. If you sell $10,000 worth of
Right.
commercial time, you get a bike. If you sell this, you
Yes.
get this.
So it's the same plan, essentially.
Same plan. Except they seem more motivated because they're trying to get prizes. It's
Well, they
it's
want-
amazing
they
that
want-
money doesn't motivate some salespeople.
They also want, the patches on their sashes. So, because some of those girls are vicious about the patches on their
Oh.
sashes.
Tell me about it. Molly's jacket and sash. Debbie was constantly sewing on patches. You talk about overachiever. When it came to cookies, she every year was invited to the top seller banquets, and
Gotcha.
she had to be the highest in her troop, and it was crazy.
Yeah, no, I get it.
So they would walk, they would go to the grocery store and set up a table. They would, do everything. Hit up relatives from all over the country and,
And that was before there was online. So then you probably had to do like the actual shipping and.
Well, at first we did. Then thankfully the next year they came out with that program where you could just donate them to the troops. So
Okay.
a lot of family members were like, all right, here's $50, send those 10
Right.
boxes to the troops. Okay.
Yeah.
And that's 10 more boxes in her tally. So
Come on, you silly.
I know, Sally, I buy. Sorry.
We've had a lot of contest entries this morning.
Yeah.
Yeah, we have. I think
People are listening because they like the concept, even though we talk down to everybody.
I think it has been a very slow couple of days, and people are finally getting back into
Oh, yeah.
the week.
Yeah,
Even though it's Thursday,
everybody was
we're about
confused
out.
about what day it was.
Yeah.
I was like, wait, I'm about to say, I have no idea what day of the week I'm about to say.
It's Thirsty
No,
Thursday.
I have no idea what words are about to come out of my mouth or if they're even going to be correct. So,
Yeah, why are you worried about it? The government doesn't worry about it. Just say whatever you want.
it's true.
Say whatever you want and then deny that you said it, or challenge somebody to prove you're wrong.
I need a Caroline Levitt to follow me around.
That would be nice.
Good morning, you Sally.
Morning,
How
you
are
Sally.
you?
Hey y'all, sorry I'm a little late.
No,
That's
you're
all
good.
right. You're on
good.
time. We're ready. We're got a couple minutes before we get going. We just like to make sure everybody's in and comfortable, and
And it sounds
ready to
good,
go.
and we can hear you.
which
we can.
That was my
So we'll
issue. I couldn't find my headphones, so I'm glad you can hear
you're
me.
good. You're good.
All good.
So we'll obviously, I think a lot of people were pretty shocked when Governor Evers announced a special session for partial maps. So we'd like to kind of hit on that. I think, too, we have a lot of new listeners coming into the Civic Media fold. So I think it would be beneficial to talk a little bit about gerrymandering, what it actually is, and how, just a brief, how we got here, right? Because not a lot of people understand why we're gerrymandered and what our past history with these unfair maps is, and why going into 2026 it's vital that we keep the maps that we currently have, or even redraw them a little bit. Even, I guess they could even be a little bit more fair. I would agree, but we can get into all of that if that's okay with you. Anything in particular that you think we need to hit on?
The Fair Maps Coalition is working on a draft. Well, we just drafted a proposal for an independent redistricting commission.
Okay.
And so we have it's a timeline, right, of like when we expected sort of some things to roll out, especially as we have new freshmen in 2027 and we have new candidates in June. So if we want to touch on that, so far all of our state reps and senators have received. They can't say they haven't received the draft because we've mailed it, we've emailed it twice, we handed it in person, so we've done what we could.
Yeah.
So we are going to get going in 20 seconds here.
Perfect.
You're listening to the Civic Media Network. This is Civic Media Mornings. Good morning to Wisconsin Rapids, listening on WFHR, La Crosse on WLCX, Richland Center, WRCE. We are so glad that you are joining us. My name is Jamie Martinson.
And good morning, I'm Brian Noonan. Don't forget you have a few minutes left to text RECORD or RECORD, RECORD, to 855-75-CIVIC. Use your Civic Media app to text in, and you will be registered for a chance to win some AJR tickets to the state fair. So get those before they go on sale. One of the big pieces of news that came out of Tuesday night's State of the State address by Governor Evers was that he was going to call an executive or sign an executive order calling for the legislature into special session later in the spring to hopefully pass a constitutional amendment that bans partisan gerrymandering in Wisconsin. This has been an ongoing talk not only in Wisconsin but across the country. We're joined now by Yuseli Flores. She is the Fair Maps Coalition Director. You can go to fairmapsmi.com to get all the information on the coalition. Yuseli, thanks for being here. We appreciate it.
Thanks. I'm so excited to be here.
So tell us a little bit about Fair Maps Coalition, what you guys do, and how you responded when you heard the governor's call the other night for a special session to hopefully ban gerrymandering in Wisconsin.
Yeah, well, we were really excited, but we were also sort of anxious to know what that looks like, because we too don't know what that process will look like, given that constitutional amendments in Wisconsin, because we don't have a ballot initiative process, they have to pass joint resolution in the legislature in 2 consecutive sessions. So then it's like, okay, you're going to call a special session for this, but then we still have to put that on the ballot, and then voters will then still have to decide. And if we don't have concrete legislation to introduce an independent redistricting commission, we can see what is happening in Virginia, where the legislature is attempting to reverse something like an independent redistricting commission there. So we want to make sure that the process that we work towards will ban gerrymandering in Wisconsin forever, and it isn't just a Band-Aid on a huge, huge wound.
Let's take a step back for just a moment, because there's a lot of people new to the conversation, and we hear the word gerrymandering thrown out a lot, not only in this state, but across the country. Explain to us what it is, and why does this matter to everyday Wisconsin voters, Yuseli?
Yeah, well, this is gerrymandering in layman's terms. It's just the practice of legislative officials when they are in office, and then when they have a majority, or they redraw electoral district boundaries to give their one singular political party an unfair advantage over the other. And it involves manipulating maps in ways to either pack, which would put opposing voters into fewer districts, or crack them across many, making sure that the controlling party wins more seats.
So let's go back over the last, say, 10 to 15 years. How has that looked in Wisconsin? Because we know some new maps went into effect 2 years ago, but what has led us up to this point?
Yeah, well, ironically, since the 80s, since 81, 91, and 2001, partisan bickering has resulted in Wisconsin legislative district maps to be drawn by federal judges. And then in 2009, Democrats controlled the governor's office in both chambers. They had a trifecta. Despite this, they didn't pass any sort of nonpartisan redistricting laws, and they thought that they were going to keep winning and that they would have likely drawn maps favoring their party. But we know that wasn't the case. We know that that didn't happen, and it created more. It created partisanship. It created what we call is that gerrymandering is a bipartisan disease. Even though more voters across between 2010 and 2020 statewide chose Democrats, in the state assembly and in the Senate, the Democrats actually lost seats, even though they won 4 of 5 statewide races, and this is due to gerrymandering. One of my favorite fun facts is that gerrymandering is a word created in the U.S. It's an American word, Elbridge Gerry, 1810. And so if you translate this, and I give a presentation on fair maps and redistricting in Spanish all the time, I have to say that gerrymandering means manipulating the election.
Oh.
Yeah. Yeah. We're joined by Yuseli Flores. She is the Fair Maps Coalition Organizing Director, fairmapswi.com. Now, Yuseli, I think it's interesting because as we stated, Governor Evers calling for this special session was a little unexpected, I think, on Tuesday night. He has been an advocate of fair maps, but he's not going to be in office during the next redistricting process. So does that create a little bit more urgency for something to be done and more permanent maps be in place?
Most definitely. Our goal, because the Fair Maps Coalition drafted a proposal for an independent redistricting bill, we are currently looking for bipartisan support in Wisconsin amongst candidates and those running for office, including those already in office, to push for the passage of an IRC or Independent Redistricting Commission in January by the new state legislature. And our goal is then to strive towards a constitutional amendment due to the fact that it needs to pass in 2 consecutive legislative sessions. And for that to happen, the governor's signature isn't required. So we had a timeline, and it's kind of like one of those bumps in the matrix of the timeline where we're like, all right, we have to get more people on this. We need to tell more people about gerrymandering. We need to tell more people about our process to get equal buy-in now that this is sort of in the eyes of a lot of folks, right? He named it, and now we have to just, remind folks that this is a long process.
Now, Yuseli, the Fair Maps Coalition has a three-phase plan that wants to ensure fair redistricting, but you want to get it done before the 2030 census. First of all, what's the 3-phase plan, and why is that date so important to try to get everything done before then?
So our first phase was to do an educational campaign. Last year, we were in 34 different cities talking about redistricting and what an IRC would look like. We plan to be in 60 this year. The second step would be to pass legislation through the Senate and Assembly and then have it signed by the governor, our goal would hopefully be in January of 2027, and then pass the constitutional amendment before the 2030 census. So by the redistricting cycle, we would have something where Wisconsinites feel like, although they agree on many things, they're not getting the things that they agree on. And so finally, they'll have some representation. Although we currently have fairer maps, there's still not enough for what Wisconsinites actually want.
It's almost like, representatives are trying to pick their constituents versus constituents picking their representatives, right? Based off of your 3-phase plan, what does success look like for the Fair Maps Coalition just within the next year? What would be the first thing that needs to be tackled before probably the end of 2026?
Yeah, if we could get, candidates that are on the ballot to say that they support redistricting, an independent redistricting commission, if we can host more town halls, especially as we see new candidates across all aisles, right? This is I just said it earlier, gerrymandering is a bipartisan disease. So we're going to need all parties to play together and to really strive for a Wisconsin that really represents us and for a Wisconsin model when it comes for independent redistricting legislation.
It sounds like a perfect plan, which unfortunately to me means there's no chance that it could work, because as what progress do you think will or can come? I mean, we saw that the Supreme Court had to draw the maps the last time. We can't get the two parties to agree because they want to hold on to power, like you said. That's what it's all about. So, as much as I think this is 100% needed and should have been done a long time ago, I've been around long enough to see that we can't get the people to disagree. How do you think this can actually come about?
Especially as we're seeing shifts in political ideology across the nation, whatever people's ideology is, especially in Wisconsin, that traditionally has been purple. I think Republicans know that they might need an independent redistricting commission to have representation over the next 10 years. Because that cultural shift, my favorite fun fact is that every 30 seconds, a Latino in the US turns 18. Like, they are voting with their parents in mind. They are voting with the separation of families in mind. So that cultural shift, the ideological shift, the political shift is going to have to force some people to play across the aisle in order to get some constituents representation in the districts that they want to serve, regardless of whatever political party they are. And if they don't have that in the next, 3 years before 2030, there will be a huge shift.
We're talking with Sally Flores. She is the Fair Maps Coalition Organizing Director. If you want to check out some of their work, fairmapswi.com. Now, I want to, as we talk about the Independent Redistricting Commission and we talk about fair maps and redrawing, what would banning all of this partisan gerrymandering, how would it change elections, and how would representation in this state change if we just didn't have gerrymandering in a perfect world? Let's pretend that wasn't a thing. What would it look like? What would it look like in Wisconsin, Sally?
Well, people in Wisconsin, regardless of what political party they support, they agree on what they want from their government. So this is from a Marquette poll, but 87% of folks want universal background checks for gun purchases in Wisconsin. 77 want citizen-led ballot initiatives, which we don't have. 76% want increased renewable energy efforts. 72 want an action to regulate carbon pollution, and so on and so on. And the only way we can fix this for good is to take the map drawing process away from politicians and give it to an IRC to make these voting maps fair for everyone.
Is another justification for everything you said, which makes perfect sense, the fact that the fairer maps that went into effect 2 years ago, they seem to be working. Maybe not to one or two candidates, it didn't work out for them, but overall it's working. So is that further a good step toward what the ultimate goal is?
Yeah, that further proves our theory that Wisconsin is very purple, and that although they are fairer, we still have work to do. The model was also sort of a least change approach model, or that was sort of some of the agreements when governor's maps were selected. And least change approach, that just means that most of the gerrymandered maps from 2010 were almost kept because those were just part of the wrinkles in the work. But in 2024, we saw that by using fairer maps in February, it most accurately represented Wisconsin's partisan balance.
Now, this is obviously an issue for both political parties. It also affects independent voters. So for anybody listening this morning who is just like, I'm tired of talking about maps, I want our elections to be fair, what can they do? What sort of initiatives are there out there for them, and how can they be involved in moving this forward, Sally? We have about a minute left.
All right. Well, you can call your legislator and tell them you heard a very spicy Latina on Civic Media talking about redistricting. You can write a letter to the editor that you support an independent redistricting and that gerrymandering is a bipartisan disease. You can follow us on social media at Wisconsin Fair Maps Coalition. You can go to fairmapswe.com and sign our newsletter, and many, many other things. Just stay involved.
A lot of things that we can all do to make sure that this disease is someday cured. Yuseli, thank you so much. Yuseli Flores is the Fair Maps Coalition Organizing Director. Fairmapswe.com is the website. Yuseli, have a great rest of your day. Thanks for being here.
Bye, y'all.
Bye.
You're listening to Civic Media Mornings on the Civic Media Network at 748.
There she goes.
She's
Thanks,
always,
Yuseli.
She's gone.
She's
She's busy.
very quick.
Yeah, she doesn't need to hang around. Listen to us.
In and out.
No,
Blah,
she's
blah,
awesome.
blah. Spicy Latina. I love it.
She's fantastic.
I'm glad she said it. I don't want to seem, as a liberal man, I don't want to seem misogynistic to the
You
little
want to call her
lady.
girl or?
No. No.
That's all right. I'll just keep getting those emails.
I have a hard time calling like legit girls.
I
when
know.
They're, like my nieces are in grade school. I believe them to be girls, but I don't know if that's wrong. If what are you? They're young women. All right. Okay. I'm old. I still think if you're under 14, you're a girl.
Right.
Actually, if you're under 18, you're a girl.
Right.
What do
I have a friend who has 7 girls. Just 7 girls.
Oh, it's too many kids.
Wow.
7.
I don't care.
No,
what they
thank
do there.
you.
That's way too many kids.
And no husband anymore.
And she.
He was done after 6.
Well, he had to leave. He had to leave to use the bathroom, and he never came back.
They're all a year to a year and a half apart.
Oh my god!
And so, super, super intelligently gifted human beings. So everything in their house, she calls it the girl corral, or she just goes, "Ladies, let's line up, let's go."
Dean back on the text line.
Oh, Dean. Hey, Frank. How do we get rid of him?
No is not a...
No comment.
Frank is like Darth Vader, just warping in from nowhere.
He's the voice of God on this show.
He is.
All of a sudden.
Out of nowhere.
Pops in.
You need to put like a lot of reverb on this or something. So
I mean, your mic, for whatever reason, your mic sounds worse today. I think it's because you have to have echo cancellation on.
I think it's because of what you're saying.
Well,
okay. How come it sounded fine when I just clicked
There
on
we
it?
Oh, there it is.
That's
Wait,
better.
That was good.
I haven't even done anything.
You sound less reverbish.
Maybe you were just like way too close to your mic before.
Natural
I don't
reverb.
know.
Should I do the Brian?
Yeah.
Listen, I only do that when absolutely necessary to freak out Parker.
To much success.
Yeah, that worked pretty well.
It did. That scared the hell out of me. I was genuinely a little annoyed for a second.
Well, now I know that you're waiting for it, so it'll never happen again.
It's 7:52 right now. You're listening to Civic Media Mornings on the Civic Media Network. My name is Jamie Martinson.
And I'm Brian Noonan. I was waiting to hit the post. I was hoping Parker would play Puppy Love coming into
It is puppy love. It's just no words.
Oh.
It's the It's the karaoke puppy love.
All right, I can't remember all the lyrics from my days of being a Donny Osmond fan back in the day.
Were you a big Donny Osmond fan?
Oh man, I actually had some Osmond Brothers records.
Did you? My mom
Yes.
did too. Yes.
Crazy Horses, when they tried to go metal, and it was if you ever here's a prize. Here's your homework. Go and search out Crazy Horses by the Osmond Brothers. And for some reason, it still sticks in my head because there's this.
Yes. Sounds like a weird slide whistle that went wrong.
Yeah, it was insanity.
I'm not familiar. Whatever I just heard, that band is not capable of rock. Surely not.
Oh, that's
Well, they
Donnie
tried.
Donnie as a solo.
Yes.
Donnie as a solo was a teen heartthrob. He was on the cover of every, Jamie can probably attest to this, the cover of every teen magazine, Teen Beat, Tiger Beat, all of them. Donnie Osmond was swoon.
He was a little before my time. I remember the 1980s Donnie Osmond, and he had that, I can't remember the name of the song from the 1980s that Donnie Osmond had.
Not a little bit country, a little bit rock and roll
No,
with his
that was
sister
with
Marie.
Marie. No, that was he had one hit in the 80s. I'll have to look it up while we're talking here.
Oh yes,
Do you
when he
remember
tried
which
to
one I'm talking?
when he tried to rock hard.
When he tried to have that comeback. Yes. Oh my gosh. Now it's going to bother me.
I think that's actually when he fought Danny Bonaducci. That was worlds colliding. Donnie Osmond was to
Soldier of Love.
Soldier of Love.
There we go. Sorry.
That's all right. He was to white top 40 music as Michael Jackson was to R&B and soul music. He was the youngest in the brother band until they brought Jimmy Osmond in, and Jimmy was, come on, stop it.
Yeah.
All right, why are we talking about Donnie Osmond? Well, because a fan, are you really a fan if you sue your favorite artist?
No.
They're suing. They filed a lawsuit against Donnie Osmond for an injury. Please. An injury they received during Donnie's Las Vegas residency at Harris Showroom. How could they even identify that it was, in fact, Donnie Osmond? That human being
doesn't look the same.
No, he doesn't.
He doesn't look anything like he did even 10 years ago.
I don't want to say it's plastic surgery. I'll say it's cosmetic.
There's a lot pulled, tucked, and being held into place by pins and tape, I think, right now.
Donnie's man bun is actually human flesh on the back of his head that has been pulled so tight.
It might be. But this particular fan, her name is Joanne Jolkolowski, and she claims that she was hit in the back of the head by a light-up ball that was tossed into the crowd during a February 2024 performance. Now, these glowing balls are... are part of a regular audience it's not a euphemism, are part of an audience interaction segment in this particular show. According to this lawsuit, the impact caused a retinal detachment that required surgery. And Joanne says that she's still dealing with ongoing vision problems along with head and neck injuries. Now, I have several questions. My first question is, how hard were people throwing this ball off the stage? What size was it? And why? And
what kind of lit balls are they spinning around at this concert? I assumed it was like a light up beach ball, which you see, or a light something. Donnie Osmond, first of all, is 107 years old. He's not going to be throwing out concrete medicine balls.
No,
they're not doing kettlebell lifts during a Donnie Osmond concert because of all the joint replacement they would have to do.
And then his face would melt down. So we can't do any of that.
He'd look like one of those a bloodhound. His jowls would
everything would just droop. It would be bad.
Plus, how hard like you said, Jamie, how hard could you be hit in the back of the head to detach your retina?
Like, I'm thinking, like, if it's a smaller ball, like tennis ball size, like, that would
those
hurt.
Don't light up.
But it's not going to light up, and it's not going to, like, give you head and neck injuries, I wouldn't think. If it's a beach ball, you have to be winging that thing.
There's no way. I don't care if I didn't even take the beach ball out of the package, and I took a case of beach balls and hit you in the back of the head. It wouldn't detach your retina.
It would not detach the retina. So this lawsuit names Donnie Osmond personally, his concert company, and Harrah's Las Vegas as defendants, and Joanne is now seeking more than $15,000 in damages. Now, obviously, Donnie has not publicly commented on this case, and the casino has not yet issued a statement either. In case you're wondering, and in case you're upset with us right now for making fun of Donnie Osmond and all of his cosmetic procedures, he does have a Las Vegas residency that is still scheduled to continue through late this year.
Good for him.
he's still performing, and Marie once in a while pops up on stage with him.
And
They
I
do
will
their one
say-
duet, and they move on.
Anytime I see Donny Osmond in an interview or something, he seems like a good guy. I mean, he's got the Mormon background, and they had this whole public image as a family, and it all, you didn't hear a lot of scandals coming out of the Osmond family.
No.
Marie had a few marriages, but I had a huge crush on Marie. She was gorgeous. Now she doesn't look real.
Well, between her and Donnie,
And I know I shouldn't judge a woman. What was I? Looks maxing or looks mogging? What am I doing, Parker? I'm doing one of those things. I'm doing something.
Parker's not even going to respond. He's just going to stay out of it. He's going to let you keep talking. It's fine.
I didn't expect a maxing and a mogging.
Of course you didn't.
Brian
That's what makes me so weird.
That's something.
Between Dottie and Marie, there's enough Botox to basically go around a third world country. There just really, really, truly is. It's a lot.
Would you go to now? I'm thinking about like if we were in Vegas, my wife and I think she might want to go see Donny Osmond in his residency. I don't know what a ticket.
Soldier of Love.
Sure.
I'm in, and then if he ends with Soldier of Love, I'm also in.
Come on, you don't want to see One Bad Apple? You don't want to hear that song?
One Bad Apple's not bad.
Puppy Love, One Bad Apple.
Yeah, well, there we go. Lynn's trying to figure it out. She's like, were they rubber balls, big diameter? I don't know.
We don't know. We got
HD2.
Jamie, this is right up your alley. You need to do a deep dive into Osmond Productions.
There we go.
Get their budget, see what kind of balls were bought and why they light up.
7:59 right now, Civic Media Mornings on the Civic Media Network. Thank you for joining us today.
We'll talk to you again tomorrow.
Going out with a bang today.
That was fun.
Gotta
All
finish
right,
it
folks.
up fun.
We will see you tomorrow live stream. Have a good day.
Bye-bye.